guys, welcome back to another episode to the Moms. I'm your host Amaris, and we have Kathy here.
Hey guys, how are you
Happy
doing?
Thursday. How are you doing, girlfriend?
I'm all right. Kind of in the trenches. It's been a hard week. I'm just fucking tired, and I know you're tired
Yeah, I'm
too.
tired.
Um, yeah, Grayson is teething really, really bad right now. Like the worst he's ever
Yeah,
teethed. Like I don't know what this shit is, but
18-month molars, I think, pop out. I think that's what
yeah.
it is.
Yeah, and he had his 18-month checkup on Valentine's Day,
Okay.
and the pediatrician, she let us know, he was like, yeah, like he has a lot of congestion, like kind of like in his ears and his nose. It's all from the teething. I didn't even know
Oh,
teething
damn.
causes that, but I guess it does.
Mm-hmm.
But she was like, it's brutal. Like I'm sorry. That's all that's all I can tell you. Like I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like you just got to get through it, and
Mm-hmm.
which you will, but
Yeah.
it's been hard. Like nights. Oof. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's to the point that like Motrin and Tylenol are not enough for the pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh
You've been through
man.
it too, huh?
I've been through it twice, and I think during
Yeah.
those times what we did was we didn't sleep, obviously, and we
Yeah.
had the kids in an upright position, kind of laying in our chest, because they say having them completely flat puts so much pressure, and then they can't
That makes
sleep.
sense. Yeah, he's kind
So
of been sleeping. Honestly, that's another reason why I haven't been sleeping. He's been sleeping
okay,
on me for the
okay,
most part all these days. It's the only way he can fall asleep and feel
hmm,
comfortable. So
yeah,
maybe it's that. Like he feels that
yeah,
pressure when he
mm,
lays down flat. I didn't even think about
yeah.
that.
And if the doctor says he's all congested,
Congested,
then
yeah.
that makes sense too.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
but
yeah, but I will tell
he's
you, I feel like after 18 months, their teething pain kind of like,
subsides.
yeah, it like goes down, and it's like, oh, you're done teething, but like you take them to the dentist and they're like, no, they still have their molars to come in, and I'm like, what the
I
hell?
know. I'm like trying to, ugh, that's another thing. I'm trying to book his first dentist appointment, but it's tough because we have fucking California health insurance because my husband's job is based in
Oh,
California, and
mm-hmm.
literally no dentist takes it except for one that I found in Hoboken.
Okay.
Um, but I reached out to them. They still have to. I'll reach out tomorrow because they were
Yeah.
supposed to get back to me and they haven't. But
Mm-hmm.
it's just annoying. Like,
Yeah. Don't
you
be
know,
surprised if they don't schedule that out like 6 months from like now.
it's fine. I just want to have
Yeah.
something, you know?
Yeah, 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 no, for sure. On Tuesday, Cirilla has her dentist appointment, so
Yeah.
um, that's going to be fun.
Oh my God. I'm not looking forward to the first dentist appointment.
Yeah.
Grayson, I feel like ever since that hospital visit when he had the
Hmm.
hand foot mouth, it's like he's traumatized. Like he know
I would be too.
I mean, yeah, I would be too. But yeah, like
Yeah.
going to the doctors now, he's been twice. He was because he was sick that one time and
Hmm.
then he went for his checkup and he was just screaming at the top of his lungs. And
Yeah.
Grayson's very like he's like me. He's very like sensitive, like highly sensitive, but he also
Hmm.
feels his emotions very deeply, like
Yeah, for sure.
emotionally and physically. Like he's just
Hmm.
that's how I am. That's how I was as a kid, and
Yeah.
he's the exact same way. It's kind of funny, but kind of not.
Yeah,
He's a little dramatic, like
he gets
me.
he'll get used to it. The dentist, I know where I go, they like have a little monitor on top, so they're watching like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse on like Disney Plus.
Okay.
Hopefully it's like that. Although I do go to like a specialty place for children with a disability, so it
Oh,
could be
really? Okay.
different. Yeah. So yeah.
I didn't even know there was like specialty places. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, yeah. So it's called dentistry for special people.
Okay. That's
And
really cool. I had no
yeah.
idea.
Yeah, so I think there's like two or three locations in South Jersey. So I go to
Okay.
the one closest to my
Cool.
house,
That's
and
great.
I take both kids there. So it's good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
It's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. Let's jump into today's topic, shall
Yes,
we?
yes. So in today's topic, we're going to be talking about being on the fence, expanding our families, and whether or not,
Mm-hmm.
if we do decide to expand on our families, the grieving process that comes with it if we decide not to.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that we want to cover in today's episode. Maybe all over the place because there's just
Yeah.
so many like talking points I feel like with this topic.
Hmm.
I guess I can ask you,
Yeah.
Amaris, when you and Abraham, you guys got together,
Yeah.
and you were committed to one another.
Hmm.
Did you always know that you wanted to start a family? Like, what did that look like? Did you want to have multiple kids? Did you only
Yeah.
want to have one?
So it's so funny that you brought that up because on our first date, we were talking about
Your
children.
first date,
The
bitch,
first
weren't you like 16 years old or something like that?
That's why I'm laughing because I remember we were sitting outside on the bench in Chelsea Piers and I was like, oh, like I want kids. So you want kids? He's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, I already have like baby names. Like, do you? And he did. Like, we both had names. So we were
Stop.
discussing it and stuff like that. But when we got serious, when we were like committed,
Hmm. Yeah.
I remember asking him, what would be the best present I could give you? And he said, one boy, one girl, nothing else.
Wow.
So I was like, oh my God, like that is amazing. So we did talk about having multiple kids. We wanted our pair. I'm happy
Uh-huh.
we got our pair.
Yeah.
Um, I guess, do I jump in to talk about like when we
Go
just,
for it.
okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think once Cirilla was born and once we realized that Thane was developmentally delayed and it could be autism spectrum disorder, we
Right.
really sat down and we talked about the pros and cons of expanding our kids either too
Mm-hmm.
early or way later down the line. And it really came down to giving both our kids a quality lifestyle because we didn't know how Thane's autism and his journey was going to affect his life. I don't want to say
Mm-hmm.
affect our lives in a negative way, but just like the impact
No, like
of it all being.
it alters the dynamic.
Yeah, right. And what does that look like for Cirilla? Is she
Mm-hmm.
going to be ignored because he's going to have very high support needs? Like we just weren't sure. So I
Yeah.
know Abraham said at that time, like it was a lot for
Mm-hmm.
him to have two kids. It's a lot for him to cater to himself. It's a lot to
Mm.
cater to me, to the house, to like everything. So
It's a lot.
ultimately,
Yeah.
he said, I'm getting a vasectomy because I no longer want kids. Like, I know that's not what I want. I don't want any accidents to happen.
But wait, hold on, pause. He
Pause.
said that after you guys had Thane?
He said that after we had Cirilla.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. After we
Gotcha.
had
Okay.
Cirilla, we always knew we wanted
Okay.
multiple. Always,
Okay.
yeah. We always
Okay.
wanted multiples, and we always wanted one boy, one girl. Like that was, a fact. I think if we had two boys,
Mm-hmm.
we might have tried for a girl.
Mm-hmm.
But Abraham says he has such bad luck, so he's like, I probably wouldn't have gone for a third child because then that's like three boys, and he wouldn't want that. I think it would have really
Okay.
devastated him to have like a
Yeah.
third boy and not a girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Gotcha.
so I knew we always talked about having multiples. We actually talked about having three, but
Mm-hmm.
we once we saw that Thane could have ASD,
Mm-hmm.
he kind of just ripped the band-aid and was like, you know what? No, I want to focus on
Yeah.
both these kids, make sure they get everything that they need, that
Mm-hmm.
they want, everything I want them to have. He wanted to give them a lifestyle that he didn't have. And I have the same opinion. So
Yeah.
he decided to get a vasectomy because I wasn't gonna go on birth control. I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
nope, I've
Mm-hmm.
I've done that.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna go back on that. So he was just like, well,
Yeah.
vasectomy. So props to him because not many men
Seriously, props for
would
him.
not do that.
They
And he
wouldn't.
said it was the greatest pain of his life. And this man has been in a motorcycle accident.
Yeah.
So he's
Wow.
like, even with general anesthesia,
Anesthesia.
he was
Holy
like,
shit.
hell no, like that was the worst pain of his life. He can reverse it, but
Yeah.
he's like, no. He's like, I'd rather have these two kids and that's it
Yeah.
than have to go
Of
back to that
course.
office.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it just sounds painful.
I
Oh my
guess.
God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, unlike you,
Hmm.
you're gonna be shocked to hear this. I never wanted kids. growing up.
I'm not
Like it
I'm not
just,
surprised.
I just, I don't know. I just never, maybe because like I'm a child of divorced parents and
Mhm.
I feel like that played a huge role, you know what I mean?
Right,
And
right.
I didn't want to bring children into this world and think, like, I don't know. I went through a lot as a kid and I just
Yeah.
didn't want to even think of something happening to my kids
Mhm.
that would have affected them, you know, mentally, emotionally, whatever the case.
Mhm.
And Blue and I have been together, as you know, for, well, I always lose count, 13 years, I think now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to make 14 years this year. And even when we were serious, like I was just always like, no, I don't really know if I want kids. He's always wanted kids. As you guys know, and I've mentioned on here before, my husband does have a son from a previous relationship. He's 14 years old. His name is Joel, and I've been in Joel's life literally his entire life, like since
Yes.
he was one, since
Yeah.
he was one. So yeah, I think as we got older though, because when we got together, we were really young. Like I was
Yeah.
18, he was 19.
Mhm.
Like at 18 years old, I just wanted to have fun and live my
Right.
life. Like I wasn't thinking about having kids. And plus,
Mhm.
I think having a stepson so young and it I feel like that was a lot already for me. Like
Yeah.
I took on the role of being a stepmom so early on. Like I I already had that, like, what's that? Maybe like not satisfaction or that. I don't, you
Um,
got what I'm trying to say? Like,
it's like, oh yes, I didn't know what you're trying to say. Almost like
what's
that
that word?
that like I don't want to say the room in your heart or
Yeah,
place in your heart.
yeah,
Something like that. Yeah.
something along those lines.
Yeah.
So then we got married, and actually no, even before we got married, I was we as we grew together, as we grew older, I was like, okay, like I do want to get married. Like I do want to have kids. Cause I've always been in love with Blue and like,
Yeah.
yeah, as you get older, like your mind shifts,
Yeah, for
you know,
sure.
especially once you get to like your mid 20s, it's like things
Mhm.
change, like your perspective, everything in life starts to change. Like you start to mature.
Yeah.
I guess is what I'm trying to get at. And so once we got married, like we knew we wanted to have kids.
Mhm.
When I was pregnant with Liam, we did have the discussion like, are we going to have multiples? Are we only going to have one? We made the decision that we only wanted to have one.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so like Liam was gonna be like that was going to be it, and I even told my parents, I was like, we only want one child, like I don't want any more, like we wanted,
Mhm.
like you had mentioned about giving your children a quality life. That's
Yeah.
what we were. That was a discussion. Like we
Mhm.
wanted to give Liam a quality life and still travel and do all these things.
Mhm.
Well, fast forward to, we lost that baby. Fast forward now we have Grayson. I think it was when Grayson was around 3, maybe 4 months old. I was like, okay, I definitely want to give him a sibling.
Mhm.
But present day, I am very much on the fence, and
Yeah.
it's hard. It's something that I go through in my head. I go back and forth every single day because there's just so many things to consider.
Mhm.
So I wrote down some talking points here because
Okay.
I don't want to leave anything out. Um, One of the things that is holding me back from having another is the lack of village.
Yeah.
As you know, like
Mhm.
it's extremely hard. My husband works a lot. Um I feel like I'm what was that?
That was upstairs. Let me check
Oh,
the camera.
okay. Okay.
What? What?
What the
Well,
hell?
I don't hear any
Sounded
crying,
like a
so
tornado.
it might be fine.
Okay.
They're probably like doing something crazy.
Playing.
Oh, what the age? I can't even see anything. All right. I don't hear any crying, so it's fine. Abraham's with them.
But yeah, I feel like I'm drowning right now with just one
Yeah.
child. And the thought of having another one right now, like it just kind of scares me because I feel like I can't handle it on my own. I need
Yeah.
help.
Mhm.
I really need help. So that's one of the factors, and I'm like, shoot, like how would I do it? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
Another thing is dealing with another high risk pregnancy. I've
Yeah.
mentioned on here before, my pregnancy with Grayson was high risk, extremely high risk. what would that look like the second time around?
Right.
Having a toddler, bed rest, surgery. I would have to get a cervical cerclage. Like that terrifies me. Like, how am I
Yeah.
going to be running after a toddler while having to be on bed rest? Going to biweekly, sometimes weekly doctor visits. It freaking terrifies me. Like, I just don't know how I would make it work.
Right.
Um, Also having to have another C-section. It's just like there's so many things.
Mhm.
And also like the emotional and I guess you like the psychological aspect of it. Um, a another baby isn't guaranteed if I'm pregnant. Like
Right.
Grayson was a miracle. I After
Mhm.
I lost Liam, I for sure knew I was like that. I don't think I can carry a full pregnancy.
Yeah.
And even when I had my cervical cerclage, it wasn't guaranteed. My pregnancy was not guaranteed. So
Right.
every week that passed by, like it was a week
Nerve-wracking.
that I nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Just counting down the weeks,
Mhm.
it was freaking terrifying. It wasn't until I was like 20 something, 24 to 26 weeks that I was like, okay, like this pregnancy is it's actually happening. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to have a baby after this. I don't know if I can go through that again. Like
Yeah.
it's scary. And then like what if I end up losing another child? That's where my
Mhm.
mind goes.
Mhm.
That's where my mind goes. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Um Also like my age, obviously, like I'm 32 years old.
Mhm.
I have incompetent cervix. Like if I want to have another baby, like it has to be soon
Yeah.
because the longer I wait, like the the more weak my cervix is, the more complications I can have.
Mhm.
So I have this like huge immense pressure and it's like
Yeah.
it's literally killing me inside every day. Like I stress about this every day
Yeah.
and I don't know what to do. And there's more factors. Another
Yeah.
thing, postpartum depression.
Mhm.
Granted, like you don't know if you're going to have that again. If you've had it the first time, do they say like it's more likely that
I
you
think,
could get
yeah.
it or ever.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's like that your chances of getting again increases.
Yeah, so that's another thing too. Like
Mhm.
I do not want to go through those emotions again.
Yeah.
However, I do think if I do end up having it again, I think it would be different the
Yeah.
second time around because you kind of already know what to expect.
Right, and then you can
Where
just go straight to the
tell your
doctors and like, "Hey, I need to be put
yeah,
on meds, like, I'm going through
yeah,
something."
or,
Mhm.
and just having that mindset like, oh, this is temporary. This is temporary.
That's true
The
too.
first time you go through it, you don't think that shit's temporary. You think
Right.
that's
That's
like
forever.
that's forever. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So that's another factor. Um, what else? Also like the financial aspect of it too. Like having
Yeah.
kids is expensive.
Mhm.
And like you said, you want to give your kids a quality life. That I
Yeah.
want to give that to Grayson. Um, we want to put him in extracurricular activities eventually, you know,
Right.
soccer. We want to
Mhm.
put him in good schools. Um, all of that plays a huge role. Like
Yeah.
are we able to do that with another child? Will we be able to have the same lifestyle dynamic that we have right now? You know,
Mhm.
we like to go out a lot. We're
Right.
not doing it right now, but we do like to
To travel.
travel, like go
Same.
to places. Like can
Mhm.
I do that? Can we do that with another?
And there's
I don't
college.
know.
There's
There's
co like,
college.
Joelle will be in college, what, in 4 years?
I
So
know.
there's paying for college, and there's, like, saving up for, their college fund, you
I
know?
know. This is controversial though. And maybe we can talk about it in another episode, but
Yeah.
Blue and I and Joel's mom have come to the we're not going to pay for
Oh, okay.
college.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because I don't know if I mean I know he says he wants to go to college, but it's like
Mhm.
who's to say like what if he goes to college and then he figures out, oh, like, well, this is not for me. Then what? Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Then all that
Yeah.
money goes to waste.
That's true too, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also we're paying for essentially a college tuition right
Right
now
now.
for
Yeah.
his he's in high school. He goes to private school.
Mhm.
It's a ridiculous amount of money every
Yeah,
single year.
I'm
So
sure.
that's another like
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you get it.
everything. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I get it. No, I mean, I don't, if my kids decide like one day they don't want to go to college, they want to go to a trade school or cause,
Yeah,
one of those like trades, by all means, I am
right.
happy for you. Do whatever it is that you want. It saves us money. It saves you,
Yeah,
um, money from debt.
right.
If they want to take a shot on like a business venture, I'm pretty sure Abraham will like fund it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
So,
I want to set my kids up for success. Like I want to
right.
make sure they have a savings account. I want to
Right.
eventually maybe get them a car. I want to set them up, but I
Mhm.
don't want to like hand everything to
Oh,
them if
yeah,
that makes
sure.
sense. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
No, 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 yeah.
Um so yeah, that was a little bit of a rant. But
Yeah.
yeah, the finances is just
It's a
can we
lot.
do it? Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that's something that people are kind of scared to talk about.
Right.
Um
And I feel like
be,
people will say,
or
"Well,"
embarrassed.
right. And like I know some people are on government assistance, which is fine. No
Yeah, if
shade,
you need it, you need it.
but like we won't qualify for that.
No,
Like
no.
I
We don't even qualify for like whatever anytime there's like a tax thing, like
yeah,
right now there's like some what is it? Like if
I have no
there's like a
I don't do
child
my
we
taxes.
don't qualify for shit.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because we don't make our husbands make too much money. Like they're in that little
In
bracket.
the
But it's like, honey, boo boo, I still got shit that I'm not paying for because it's hard. But anyways, we're getting sidetracked. But yeah, it's like I see all these parents, they have more than two kids, and I'm like, that's amazing.
it is
Like
amazing.
all props to you for
Mm-hmm.
mentally surviving that mental load.
The mental load for sure.
Oh, the mental load, man. I only have two kids and I feel like I have 1,000 with the amount of times every 15 minutes. It's like snack, snack. I want this, I want that. Oh, I want more. And it's just like, can I take a
That
shit?
terrifies me. Yeah.
Can I take a shit, please?
Freaking terrifies me.
Like,
So I really don't know what to do, guys.
yeah.
I am in a pickle. I know Amaris tells me all the time to flip a coin, but
Yeah,
no, I'm
no,
not gonna fucking flip a coin.
that's me joking around. Just flip a
Yeah.
coin. No, I think it's very important to like, and I think I've said this before. Like,
Mm-hmm.
look at your life now
Yeah.
and how it is, and picture a second human being that you have to take care of. Can you survive that? And if the answer is no, then
I'll be
it's
honest, I'm not ready. I'm
yeah,
not ready right now.
yeah, and that's okay.
But it's like, will I ever be like I just you know what it is? I don't want to go through life and then like have that regret of not having a second one.
Yeah, which that
You
does
know?
that does happen. I had
Yeah,
someone
like
tell me at my job that they regret not having a third.
I don't want to have that like what if?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's a
Yeah.
very, very tough it's been a very tough thing lately.
Mhm.
Um, like it's been really, really hard to talk about it too with Blue. I think we're both like
Like
I don't
over
think overwhelmed. Yeah,
yeah.
overwhelmed because I'm on a timeline.
Mhm.
There's a lot of pressure, but I don't I right this second I do not feel ready. Physically,
Yeah.
emotionally, it's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I really don't know what the future holds.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
I remember when Abraham decided, well, not him, because I don't want to make it seem like he decided he wasn't having kids, and like that was that. Like after we like
Yeah.
talked about expanding our family and coming to the
Mhm.
decision that we did, he said, no matter what, we can have the third, we can have the fourth. We're just
Mhm.
gonna keep wanting all these kids because we have so much love to give. We truly love our kids so
Yeah.
much. We're just never going to stop. We're just never going to stop because we're just gonna want these kids. So we might as well stop now that we have the pair that we have and enjoy our lives with them. There are
Mhm.
times where we're like, wow, we could have had a third,
Mhm.
but that didn't happen. Obviously, it couldn't happen.
Yeah.
But you do go through a grieving process. And I feel like I still go
Yeah.
through it to I think we both still go through it to this day where we're like, oh my gosh, like the third one could be running around. But then they say
Mhm.
if you have a third, go for the fourth. So it's like
Yeah, they do say that.
so he's like, yeah, and then we could have the fourth one running around. So you're I feel like that feeling of always wanting more kids is always going to be there, even if you guys mutually decide like no, like we are done. That feeling is still going to be there because you love what you do. You love nurturing, you love providing, you
Mhm.
just love your kids. And as a woman, we go through this whole experience of like nurturing this baby inside of us and then like
Yeah,
delivering it out. Like we go through this
I
whole
know.
process. So for me, I feel like it's not about having a third running around the house. It's about
Mhm.
like the whole pregnancy, the kicks,
Yeah.
the
Yeah, I know.
backaches, the cravings, you know.
I know.
Do you feel pressure like from family members or friends or social media?
Not from friends, but from social media and my family, yeah, I
Yeah.
do. And I do feel like I'm going through a grieving process, and I
Yeah.
haven't even made the decision yet.
Right.
Like,
Maybe subconsciously you just know.
I really don't. I was having this conversation with Blue because
Mhm.
I wanted to hear his perspective, and I was like, kind of like how you asked me, like, could you picture yourself like the way our family is right now, our dynamic? Could you picture yourself with another? I I picture another baby, but like I see them in the long run.
Okay.
Like when my kids are older and we're sitting on the dinner table. Like
Mhm.
that's what I see.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what I told him. I was like, I know if we have another one's going to be really really hard right now having two small kids, but I think of the long run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, almost like Grayson's like almost 7 or 8,
Yeah.
and then you have like a 3-year-old
Yeah.
at
And
at
like
the
life
table.
is good and like we're all
Right.
like, you know,
Joel's in college by then.
yeah.
He's like
Yeah.
he's an adult at that
Right.
point.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
because
So I
technically
see the
you do have
future.
2 right now. You have a teenager, and
Yeah.
then you have a toddler. So
Mhm.
those 2 I mean, I'm glad
And
my kids
having a
are young.
teenager is hard
It's
too.
hard. Yeah.
It's really hard.
Yeah, I feel like I'm
It's
parenting my sister-in-law.
the emotions that come with it's just they're very moody, it's very up and down. You don't know what you're going to get. It's really difficult. It's really
Yeah.
really difficult.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm really I'm so torn with this.
Mhm.
But I'm glad that we're talking about it because I
Yeah.
know that we're not the only ones. I know that women go through this, moms go through this all the time, whether they're one and done and they're
Mhm.
having that grieving, you know, process or like on the fence of having another, whatever the case may be, whatever your situation
Mhm.
looks like. It's tough all around, I feel like.
Yeah. No, it definitely is.
Mhm.
I feel like you can wait. I mean, there's women who have babies close to 40, you know? There it's just
Well,
higher risk, you know?
that's the part that I'm scared of because that I don't know.
No, I think I think if I had experienced what you experienced, I would be
Mhm.
one and done.
Yeah.
I would
It's just the thought of that even like happening again, like I just can't even
I can't.
I don't
I think that would literally kill me.
yeah.
Like that would literally kill me. So if I don't think anyone would be like, "Oh my
Ugh.
god, oh I don't want you to cry."
No, it's I just feel I wish that I was mentally stronger.
But Kathy, what
Ugh.
you went through, I want to hear what you went through. That is traumatic. That is
Yeah.
very like I remember when you posted your YouTube video and you were explaining everything.
Yeah.
My mouth was just in awe, and I'm like, I just want to give that girl a hug, like, because you are strong. Whether you believe it or not, you
Mhm.
are strong. Not many women can come on to TikTok, YouTube, on this podcast and talk about Liam the way you do,
Yeah.
you
Thank
know?
you.
So you
Yeah.
are definitely strong. But I completely understand where it's like, I do want another child, but I am scared as shit,
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
that that was that
Yeah.
was tough. But I do think you do have a good care team. Like the way you were saying, "Oh, yeah, I have this appointment for that and this
I
and that."
do.
I think you had a really good care team with Grayson. Now the complications come with like, can I handle all those appointments plus a toddler?
Yeah, I feel like I would have to have a serious discussion with my parents and be like, "Hey, like I need you guys to step up. I need
Yeah,
help because there's just no way that I can manage this on my own." Like blues
right.
it's and it's also too like when you have another the dynamic between your partner and you like it shifts where
Yeah,
like one person has to like take over the older child and you kind of have to divide and conquer
yeah.
and like that seems hard too, you know what I mean, because we're
Mhm.
so used to doing things together all the
Together.
time.
Mhm.
How is actually how is that for you? Like I'm really curious, like was that difficult when Cirilla came into the picture, when you
Yeah.
realize, oh shoot, like it's no longer the three of us. Like now we have to divide and conquer. Like
Yeah.
now you have to put your focus on Cirilla. Abraham has to take over the responsibility of Thane. Like
Mhm.
what was that process like for you?
I mean, we knew that that would have to happen when
Yeah.
we talked about number 2 and having them so close in age. So we went into that mindset like, okay, this is what we have to do in order to survive. But like,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard. Like in the beginning of it, I was downstairs sleeping alone with Cirilla, and Abraham was with Thane upstairs. Abraham
Yeah.
would leave Thane to come down here so that I can pump and he can take one night feeding. Um, and Thane's waking up early, which means that Abraham was waking up early. I'm still sleeping in because
Yeah.
it's crazy. It gets better once they're
Yeah.
older, but I want to
Right,
say for
right.
the first maybe year,
Mm-hmm.
it was tough.
Survival.
Yeah, it
You were
was.
trying to just trying to survive.
We were
Yeah.
trying to survive. And that's when, I've talked about it in the past, Abraham was doing really bad at his job because it was just a lot. Like it really does take a toll on every aspect of your life. And then you add on all the therapies that I was taking Thane to. So Abraham would stop working to take care of Cirilla so I can go to these like 10 a.m. Appointments for Thane,
Right.
but like you don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have, a child that is on the spectrum and needs all these like
Yeah.
appointments.
Right. Right.
But once they're old enough, so like
Mm-hmm.
I think by the time 1.5 to 2 years old,
Mm-hmm.
things started to get good because they start sleeping at the same time, they start waking up at the same time, they're eating solid
Yeah.
meals at the same time. So
Mhm.
now we're having time to like go out on a date. So like Friday we went on like
Yeah.
a date. It was a spur of the moment, and it truly was nice. Like to go out on a nice
Yeah.
date, take our time, not having to worry about bedtime and everything else.
Right.
And then we were like walking around and we he made a comment. He's like, this feels so weird without our kids. Like we're taking a
Yeah.
picture, a selfie together, and there's no
Unheard
kids
of.
here. He's like, what
Yeah.
the hell? Like this is
Yeah.
crazy that we have two kids to come home to.
Yeah.
Um, so the dynamic of going from 1 to 2, it is difficult, but only for like maybe a year and a half,
Yeah.
you know?
And they do say that going from 1 to 2 is easier than going from 0 to 1.
Oh yeah, because like you already know, right? You're like,
Yeah,
okay, you
yeah.
have to develop a sleeping pattern, make a routine
Mhm.
with like food. It's a 3 month sleep regression. This is what
Yeah.
you just know. So that's
Yeah.
also like easier.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I'm trying to think if there was, and then if you're like pumping and nursing like I was, like that was a little crazy. But
I could
you
imagine.
involve the older
Yeah.
child to help. Hey, can you go get me a diaper? Can you throw this
Mm.
diaper away? Because
Right.
they do want to help. Oh, can
Mhm.
you go get me a bottle? Can you, so you find ways to include them when you
Mhm.
give them a sibling.
I know. And I think about that too, like I know they say like that's not a reason to have another kid, like to want to give your child a sibling, but it's like I just picture how Grayson would be as a big brother,
He'll
and
be
it
so sweet.
literally he would be so sweet because the
Mhm.
way that that boy is he's such a nurturer, he's so loving, and
Mhm.
oh, I could just cry about it. He's so loving. He has this little like baby toy, baby doll, and he like gives him milk. Like he'll go grab. Like
Aw.
he's just the sweetest boy, and I just know he would be like the best, big brother
Right.
and want
Right.
to help in all the ways. So I think about that, and I'm like, oh my god, like how can I not? You
Give
know?
him yeah, give him a sibling.
Yeah, like have him experience that.
Right, right.
Um,
Have you ever thought about, like, if you guys did expand, wait
yeah,
until he's, like, in preschool or in daycare, and then, like,
I've thought about it. Yeah,
book the appointments while he's there? Because
yeah,
that
yeah.
takes the edge off.
I think I've been so before when we had discussed the possibility of having a second, I had said and I had mentioned to you a couple of times like we would try when Grayson turns 2 or close to turning 2. I'm
Oh,
telling you
yeah.
right now, that shit is not happening.
Right.
It's looking more close to 3, maybe 4, like you said,
Yeah.
like I just waiting it out because yeah, I want him to be at an age where like he is able to communicate with me
Right.
and he can be helpful in certain aspects, you know.
Mhm.
I think that it would just be too difficult and challenging right now.
Yeah, and know what? That's fine. You don't need to have a child now. You
Yeah,
you
yeah,
you can wait, and that's a game plan that you talk to your doctor. I'm
yeah.
sure they have something. I'm sure
Mhm.
they do. They're just waiting for you to say, "Hey, I want to try for number 2.
I
Let's
know.
go."
I know.
You
No, you're
know.
right. I do trust them. I know with my nurse, Nicole, she had 2 cervical babies
Oh,
and both
okay.
are both boys. And she says she waited 2 years, I think,
Okay.
to have the second one. And Dr. Principe, which is the doctor, he delivered her babies. Like and
Oh,
he did
okay.
her cervical cerclages. So that's that's really good to know and
Yeah.
reassuring. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I think you have it figured out. Just wait
I think you're
for
right.
when he's in school. And honestly,
Yeah.
that the only reason why we had Cirilla so early is because COVID
Mhm.
did hit. And I did decide to be a
Right.
stay-at-home mom because we were gonna wait until he was 3 or 4 to be in
Oh,
preschool.
wow.
Oh yeah, that was our plan was always to expand, but to
Mhm.
wait.
To wait.
But
Okay.
when COVID happened, I was like, we might as well have it now. So that in three to
Mm.
four years, when he does go to school, and when at that time we didn't know, when second baby
Yeah.
goes to
Yeah.
school, I can go back to work. Like
Mm.
that, that's how we had Cirilla fast. Like he turned 1 and I was like, let's go. And then in like 2 months I was pregnant.
Gotcha.
But
Yeah.
yeah, no, no, no. And I honestly think that's probably the best way because it's like you get to enjoy your pregnancy while they're in school. They come back from school and there's not much
Right.
pressure going on. Because I would say
Mhm.
being pregnant with a toddler, that shit is hard.
That shift sounds fucking brutal.
That shit was hard. I remember I got really bad sciatica because
Oh, man.
Thane was he napped on the couch and like half my
Mhm.
body was like on the couch and not on the couch. So that
Okay.
like pressure and that stiffness on my hips was so bad and I had sciatica for weeks.
Oh my god, you poor thing.
Year was bad. It was
Um,
bad.
but I know that you had mentioned a couple of times the adoption.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
is
Adopting.
that something that you guys are like still open to later on?
Later
in
on
life?
in life, yeah, it's funny because before I started, I was like, "Hey, Abraham, this is our like topic, expanding kids." He's like, "Oh yeah, you should talk about like adoption and stuff, and how we like talked
Mm-hmm.
about like oh no, this is how it happened." I said, "I'm gonna talk
Okay.
about how you can't have any more kids, but like I still can." He's like, "What are you
Yeah.
talking about?"
Uh-huh.
I can't have more kids, which means you can't have no kids. I was like, no. I can't have more kids with you, baby. I can have kids with another man. He's like looking at
Yeah.
me all types of crazy.
Just go to the sperm bank
The
real
sperm
quick.
bank, yeah. So, but then that's when he brought up like, yeah, like adoption. We like talked about that. It's still in our minds,
Okay.
but it's not like, oh, we're definitely going to do it. It's not like
Right.
that.
It's like up in the air
It's
or
up in
just
the air. We have to see how life is with like Thane
yeah.
and Cirilla, because our
Mm-hmm.
main priority is always them.
Yeah.
And as I said in previous episodes, if we did adopt, it's going to be like a teenager, um, a young tween, because we want to be able
Mm-hmm.
to give them that hope that they've been waiting
Yeah.
their whole life.
I love that.
You know, I
Mm-hmm.
don't. We're done with the baby stage. We're done with the toddler stage.
Mm-hmm.
We're just done. Would you guys be open to adoption?
I don't think so. I mean, Blue has mentioned it. It's always something I think that he at the back of his mind he would like to do or he's open to, but I don't know. It's not something that's ever really been on my radar, to be honest.
Okay.
Um I don't know. Um I honestly don't know. We'll see what the future holds. I will say when I had lost Liam, adoption was something that I was already looking into.
Mm-hmm.
It is very
It's so
expensive. There's a
expensive.
lot that goes into it. It's a long
It's a long
process.
process.
But it is something that I had looked into because I was like, I want to be a mom, and I honestly I can't go through that experience of losing another child again.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows later on down the line. One thing that I wanted to bring up is I know I had mentioned topics of discussion, not
Mm-hmm.
just adoption, but I wanted to talk about freezing eggs and then also surrogacy.
Oh, okay.
Um, I don't want to freeze my eggs, but I wonder any listeners, out there that are feeling on the fence, would you be open to maybe freezing your eggs? Like because you're in a situation like me where you don't feel ready, but you may feel ready down the line. Like, is that
Mm-hmm.
something that you would be open to? Is that something that you would be open to, Amaris? If you were in the situation where you were on the fence, you know you want to have another one, but right now is not the time. But the biological clock is ticking. Like, what
Yeah.
is that something that you would be open to?
Is money
No,
something?
no, like
Okay.
don't even think about
So
money.
yeah, I think I would. I think I
Same.
would freeze my eggs. Can you freeze sperm? Yeah, freeze sperm. Probably
Yeah.
even look into like a surrogate, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like the next thing I wanted to bring up. If I had the money, I would have a surrogacy
Yeah.
for my next pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it would take a huge weight off my shoulders.
Yeah.
Um uh, I know that not every pregnancy is guaranteed, but if it's like a healthy woman that has had multiple pregnancies,
Yeah.
like hell yeah, I would go through that. It's
Mm-hmm.
as much as I did enjoy my pregnancy with Grayson. I loved being pregnant. I that emotional aspect and that the high risk is just it's a lot, and
Yeah.
I don't know if I can go through that again. So if I had the
Mm-hmm.
option to have a surrogacy and money wasn't an issue, hell yeah,
Yeah.
I would definitely consider it.
They make good money too. There was
I
one point I
know.
was like, Abraham, I should be
Shut
like
up.
a surrogate. He was like,
I wouldn't be able to do it.
he's like, you hated being pregnant. I was like, yep, I'm getting paid for it, so I love it now. He's like, shut up. He's like,
I
just
don't
shut
know. I
up.
think it would be so weird. Like obviously that child's not yours, but like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just I feel like I don't know. It'd
For
be really
me,
weird.
it's like I'm giving a couple like the perfect gift.
I know,
Like
but
that's
then
the way I see it.
I know, but then you still go through like You still go through the
Postpartum.
emotion. You still go
Yeah.
through postpartum and all that. Like I can't even imagine. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't know. I just think it's so fucking cool. Like
It
I'm
is.
able to carry
Yeah.
your kid and make you happy, make you parents.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah,
Yeah.
sign me up.
Yes.
I'll
Yeah.
just think about, oh, my back hurts. It's okay. I'm just getting X amount of money and making someone very fucking happy.
It is amazing. Like I personally wouldn't be able to do it, but I would
Yeah.
love to have a surrogate for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that would be amazing. But yeah. I would love to hear from our listeners. I think that maybe this week on, not this week, I guess for next week, early next week, we should post something on our stories, maybe like a ask us questions type of thing
Oh, yeah,
relating to
yeah.
this topic. I think that would be kind of cool. And then we can kind of like answer them through stories. I don't know,
Yeah.
something. Um, I know we don't have a ton of followers, but
Yeah, we
I
don't.
I really I feel like this is a conversation that like so many moms can relate to
Mhm.
and make really good conversation too. So, I
Right.
don't know.
Yeah, I feel like this topic,
There's so many like
there's
outlets. There's so
yeah,
many.
there's so much to discuss because I
Yeah, yeah.
remember my sister, she has PCOS, so the
Mhm.
doctor told her like if you want to become pregnant, we have to come up with a plan and like everything.
Y'all don't even get me started on PCOS because I remember I was misdiagnosed.
Yeah.
Guys, I was misdiagnosed with PCOS shortly after having Grayson, and I was like, wow, I can't have kids.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, so you've been on this like roller
yeah,
coaster and I almost feel like that might be like contributing to like how you are feeling. You
yeah,
know, because to be told that like you can't have kids, no, you can't have kids because you don't have PCOS. It's just your hormones. You
yeah.
know,
It's a lot.
it's like, God damn, I'm going through postpartum right now and I'm hearing all this shit right now. Like, are you what? But I know what my sister said that when she gets the money, she wants to freeze her eggs.
That's good.
And
Yeah.
she's like, I'm not waiting for a marriage or a man, nothing. She's like, I'm going to
Okay.
the sperm bank, getting knocked
Good
up.
for you,
And
honey.
I was like, you go, girl.
Yeah. I mean,
You
if
go,
that's what you
girl.
want to do, if you want to be a mom, like don't let,
Don't let
a
like not being married.
yeah, exactly, stop you.
Yeah. Like you can do the damn thing. You can,
Yeah.
you know?
Hell yeah. Hmm.
But yeah, she's so funny. My sister. My little sister. All right, guys, that's all we have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget that we're on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. So go give us a follow. Tell your mamas, your aunties, and your uncles about us. All right, guys. Bye.
See ya.